Guys, and welcome to another review. I had to talk about this. So excited. So, Supernatural came back on Wednesday night with season 11, episode 10, The Devil's in the Detail. Series 11 has not disappointed by any means, and the thing with Supernatural is there are some points where I allow myself not to have a lot of faith in it, because even though when Supernatural does well, it does really well, it's phenomenal, but when it does crap, it's physically painful. Like, my favourite example, Series 7. Oh, what a load of old crap that was. The whole thing with the Leviathans, I couldn't watch the entire series. I watched the first few episodes and then the last few episodes and everything with Bobby, and I couldn't sit through the rest of it. It was pretty much an entire series dedicated to making dick jokes. So, okay, right, one episode, cool. 21 episodes? No, just... I nearly lost complete faith in Supernatural then, and then it pulled itself back with Series 8. Series 9 was okay. Series 10 was kind of... I had a love-hate relationship with it, because I liked the whole thing with Deanman. Deanman. Hey. But it was just... It was so easily resolved, and even in some respects, I feel like the whole Mark arc, even though it lasted 2 seasons, they could have done a lot more with it, and kind of felt like it was very, like, final, abrupt, done. But season 11 has been fantastic the entire way through, and it's at times like this where I am so sorry that I doubt the writers, because this episode was amazing. My warning now, might be minor spoilers. I'll try and keep them to a minimum. But there is one massive plot point that I really need to talk about, and if I don't, I'm gonna accidentally give it away, so might as well say that will be the major spoiler. I'll let you know when I come to it. Okay, so the plot, it pretty much continues straight after episode 9, with Sam and Lucifer in the cage, and Lucifer's trying to convince Sam to say yes to becoming his vessel. And it was interesting to go on a walk down memory lane and to see that they used the same actor that used to play young Sam. Oh, it was really weird. I can't remember what episodes he's been in as young Sam, but he does look like a young Jared Padalecki, and it's weird. And like, he was so young, and then you watch him in this episode and he's grown up into a beanpole, and it was adorable, and I was like, oh my gosh, I recognise you. Wow, puberty has been, well, you were cute before, but puberty's been kind. Oh, that I love that. And reliving the whole arse butt scene. Can't go wrong with a bit of a Misha Collins saying, "Hey, ass butt," and Lucifer saying he still doesn't get it. It's like, alright, okay, cool. Yeah, and it was, one thing I found interesting was, it's kind of spoilery, kind of, Lucifer talking about how he respected Sam when Sam went up against him in the in Swan Song, which was the season 5 finale, when Sam was able to take on Lucifer and win. Lucifer said that, oh, I respected you then. You were willing to do the difficult thing in order to save the world. But now you're so consumed with grief, well, not grief, it's another G word, guilt. So filled with guilt about not saving Dean from purgatory that he won't do the difficult thing because he doesn't want to lose Dean again. And he even allowed Dean to talk him out of closing the gates of hell, which people keep forgetting about. Lucifer tackling the hard issues there, which I thought was interesting. I liked the fact that Lucifer's picked up on the very obvious fact, because Sam isn't the same person as he was in season 5. He's been changed. He's probably a lot softer than he was before. He's not willing to take the same risks, which I thought that was a very clever point to pick up on. And even though I don't think it's going to change anytime soon, really, it might do. I don't know. I can't see into the future. So you've got everything going on in the cage. You've got Crowley and Rowena's little interactions, which are always such fun. Oh, such fun. Mark Sheppard he's so talented. I love him. And his interactions with Rowena are just brilliant. Like, the first scene, it was one of the weirdest scenes I have ever seen. But it was funny. Because pretty much within that scene, we are alerted to the fact that Rowena and Lucifer have been in cahoots for quite a while. And Rowena's under the impression that when Lucifer gets out of the cage and defeats the darkness, that they are going to settle down in the kingdom of heaven as king and queen. To which Crowley's pretty much just like, no. No, darling. No. Which I just love their interaction, and throughout the episode, just seeing their relationship, and then the last little scene with them, and it was so great. I love them. The two of them were fantastic, and you know, no more. So anyway, we've got those. We've got Dean, who's kind of doing his own thing. He driving along in the Impala, and he's about a mile away from the site of the smiting. Yeah, smiting, is that a word? I don't know. We'll go with it. And he starts to get sick with smiting sickness, which, can we just comment on the fact that this is probably one of the only times throughout the whole series that we have seen Dean being sick. Is it only me that's kind of noticed that? I've seen Sam being sick a few times, not Dean. So it was interesting. I like little touches like that, kind of. Probably very OCD to notice them, but okay. I'll accept it. And so he's going along being affected by the smiting sickness, and Cass comes along to look after him. And the team was going, oh, I need to go closer to the ground zero in order to make sure that she's dead. And Cass goes, well, no, you're only going to get sicker as you get closer. And the last person that got that close was Lot's wife, and she turned into a pillar of salt. So that's just exactly what you want, isn't it? To turn into a pillar of salt. So Dean decides not to do that and go and try and find Sam. And I don't really want to go into too many spoilers, but pretty much they all end up in hell, and they all end up in the cage. which was, I love that scene. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. So you've got all of that happening. The performances were exceptional during this episode, can I just say? Absolutely exceptional. Now we're going to kind of get into the spoiler territory, the real intense spoiler territory. So if you don't want any spoilers, you're probably going to want to go now. Otherwise, you are just going to hate me because I'm going to spoil the biggest plot points. So hope you've enjoyed your day. It's great. It was a great episode. Bye bye. They gone? Okay. Right, so it's just us in the spoiler know how, or those that don't particularly care about spoilers, which, fair enough. So, you have Sam saying no to Lucifer, which was kind of showing that he's not weak. He's said no to the devil. He's point blank looked Lucifer in the eye and say, no, I'm prepared to do the hard thing. I'm prepared to die. I'm prepared to watch people I love die. What I'm not prepared to do is become your bitch. I was like, oh, shots fired. Wah! And Lucifer's just like, oh, right. No, I'm not accepting that. And he starts trying to beat the living crap out of Sam, which is why they all end up in the cage together. And that fight scene was so cool when Lucifer says it's all about ambiance, and then he puts on Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel. Oh, I was just like, oh, I was grinning from ear to ear at that point. I was just like, Lucifer, Mark Pellegrino, you are a badass, sir. Just fantastic. Love Mark Pellegrino. I love Mark Sheppard. Is it something about the name Mark? I don't know. That was fantastic. And right, so next part I'm going to discuss. So they're all fighting, and Cass, he's already had a bit of an altercation with Amara, and she has branded Cass's chest saying, I am coming. And so once he's in the cage, he asks Lucifer, are you really the only one that can stop Amara? And Lucifer says yes. So what does Cass do? He says yes. So technically, Castiel has gone AWOL. Poor Jimmy. He's getting passed around. He's getting passed around like a joint, really. Every bugger wants to smoke his skin suit. Just like, really? Poor guy. So, Castiel is now Lucifer. Misha Collins is now going to be doing he's going to be impersonating Mark Pellegrino playing Lucifer. He's going to be Lucifer. It's epic, and I'm so excited they are giving Castiel such a meaty storyline. Well, it's not even Castiel. It's Misha Collins. Oh, I love Misha, and I think he's so talented, and this is just what he needs. A nice, juicy storyline, and it's going to be epic. Oh, I'm so excited. I love it. And pretty much so, the Winchesters go home, and Cass walks back into the place to kind of interrupt a conversation between Crowley and Rowena. So Rowena's got the witch catcher around her neck, and Crowley asks her, why do you hate me? And Rowena says to him that he reminds her of how weak she was, that as soon as he was born, his father went back to his wife and to his money, and she was just stuck there, laying in the hay, her thighs slick with blood. And then she said, oh, this was kind of where I felt sorry for her, because she said, I hate you because otherwise I would love you, and that's a weakness I can't afford. And I was just like, oh. And you can just see Crowley tearing up too, and I'm just like, beautiful. And so then Lucifer Castiel walks in, and he's pretty much kind of making the moves on Rowena, and it looks like he's going to go in to kiss her, and he says, so you are the only one that can put me back in the cage, right? And she goes, yep, only me. And he snaps her neck. R.I.P. Rowena. You were a crazy bitch, but you were quite entertaining. And so now the King of Hell's mummy is dead. And so then Lucifer just looks at Crowley and goes, I think it's time we had a little talk. And I was just like, oh, damn. I'm so excited to see what happens next. There is so much potential they can have now. And now Lucifer is out of the cage. He's free. He's free as a bird. Free to go around doing whatever he wants. Restart the apocalypse. Even though, might we consider a plot hole that has not been acknowledged for quite a while. So Lucifer says, oh, so you're the only one that can put me back in the box, to Rowena. And she says, yeah, I'm the only one that knows the spell. Probably the only... Did it come from the Book of the Damned? Can't remember. Might have been. She's the only one that can read it. So he killed her so that she can't put him back in there. Has he forgotten about the fact that the Winchesters still probably have the Horseman's rings? Which is exactly how he ended up in the cage in the first place. It opens a portal to the cage. Has he considered that? Has he considered that might happen? That the Winchesters could just do that? Which, right, I'm gonna come up with a plot that they can do, which, if they write themselves into a corner with the darkness, you know, I can use this plot. You know, just credit me. Will be grand. Could they not just put the darkness and Lucifer back in the cage? Could they not do that? Could they just shove Amara into the cage as well? Obviously you'd have to trick her. You'd have to trick the both of them. But you could, in essence, get them into the cage. And then just destroy the Horseman's rings, and then you can't get them out again. And everything is great. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Oh, I hate that song. Anyway, so you know, supernatural writers. If you need ideas, I'm here all week. Yeah, so this episode was fantastic. The performances were fantastic. Mark Pellegrino is a delight, and I can only hope that we see him again soon. If not, I'm sure Misha Collins is going to do an excellent job as Lucifer. He just looks like he had so much fun in the little bit we saw. So I'm so excited. The brotherly bond becoming just even stronger, and the fact that Sam relies on the fact that Dean is going to come through for him, and Dean does, and I just love the brotherly bond. It's so much better when they're working as a team, when they're not fighting. That's what I didn't like about season 9. They spent the majority of it fighting, and they were either fighting or lying to each other. And I like the fact that now that they're being honest with each other, and they're not going behind each other's backs, they're being completely open and honest, which is a return kind of to the days of season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4. No, not season 4. No, Sam went off the rails in season 4. Season 1 to 3. Those days when they didn't really lie to each other, they were honest. Apart from several cases, but we don't talk about them because otherwise my bloody analogy doesn't work. So we're going to ignore that. And we're just going to say I like it when they're being open and nice with each other, and I like a return to that, which season 11 has been. So this episode was absolutely fantastic. It was phenomenal. So I'm going to give it... I can't think of what could have been improved. I genuinely can't. So I'm going to have to give it a 10 out of 10, which... Ooh, oh, I didn't think I was going to be giving any of them, but oh, wow. This has got to be one of my favourite episodes of Supernatural ever. And season 11 is quickly becoming one of my favourite seasons. Season 5 is still... It still has a very precious place in my heart, as does season 3. So season 11, it's been 10 episodes and it's already better than, well, it's a million times better than season 7. In my opinion, it's better than season 6, season 8, season 9, season 10. It's fantastic, and I'm so glad, and I can't wait to see how they deal with it, because if they have had that build up and they are going to let me down now, oh boy, ain't gonna be happy. So anyway, that has been my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode? And what do you think of season 11 on the whole? Because in my opinion, it's been pretty great. So anyway, that's been it for today. See you later, guys. Bye!